However well-intentioned, district attorneys have rallied against the Racial Justice Act and the poor language used in it. Gary Frank expresses his opinion on estimates that the act will cost between $2.4 and $6.2 million. Although the fear of no additional funding was a concern, district attorneys were more concerned about the use of statistics in the courtroom. Here, Representative Tim Moore points out that the authors of the studies conducted for the Racial Justice Act do not imply racism, and Gary Frank talks about the dangers of using statistics in the courtroom and how under the Racial Justice Act, the guilt or innocence of the prisoners is not disputed.
But I think I may have been the one to ask the question of the presenter from Michigan State, which was, are you saying that there was racism in the trials? And the answer was no. What they were saying was that in isolated cases there were these statistics. That's what it was. Well, that has mushroomed into this concept that simply has not been proven.
Due to the poor language of the bill, white defendants will also have a chance to appeal their sentences if they can statistically prove that the prosecutors in their case put more whites behind bars than blacks. In a video with the North Carolina chapter of the American Civil Liberties Union, Laverne Keyes claims she was struck from jury duty in the case of Jathiah Albaina because of her race. Mrs. Keyes remarks about how, although her father was murdered earlier in her life, this event had no bearing on her feelings and ability to be impartial about Mr. Albaina. Mrs. Keyes also claims a white lady in the jury pool had a similar situation, but she was selected by the prosecutors for the trial. The case against Albaina was held in Gary Frank's district, and he explains why Mrs. Keyes might have been struck from the jury pool, how prosecutors select jury members, and the avenues for defense teams to claim racial bias before the trial ever starts.